All right, I think we're live. Here we go.
Yay!
That came up pretty easy, so let's see if we got it. Hello, everybody. It's the TED Show, episode 35. I want to make sure people can see it and hear us. So let's see if I can see it and hear us. Hold on. Oh, look, here we go. I think so. Look at the beautiful Rose. You did, yay.
Thank you.
Make sure that we can hear you because we're in a different room. Thanks, Tim. We're actually in a different room right now. It was so loud out there, and we just felt like, respectfully, it would be better for us to go somewhere else.
Yes.
And hey, Kat Brower, we love you.
Hi, Kat.
We wanted to make sure we were somewhere where we could actually have a conversation, we weren't screaming over each other.
Yes.
And so we moved to one of the other rooms in the club. We've got the awesome Iggy right behind us.
Yes, my nephew.
He's
my
awesome.
4-year-old nephew.
He is very handsome. Hey, Kenny, how you guys doing? So we love you too, Carol. Thank you. Oh, it is nice and quiet, right, Eileen? So maybe I need to think about this for later. But we wanted to make sure we paid respect and we could actually have a conversation where we weren't screaming over each other.
Yes.
So today, woke up this morning. You got text messages early, so tell them. And this is Rose Kemp, by the way, amazing woman, entrepreneur, realtor guru. Mom, she's amazing. So tell us a little bit about what you woke up to this morning, because I slept in for once and didn't know what was going on until about 8 o'clock this morning.
So, hi everyone, I'm Rose Kemp, and this morning I woke up to a phone call from my sister pretty early, around 5:30 I would say, and she was horrified because she had just woken up to the news. She gets up earlier than me, so she called. And I just came back from Las Vegas about a week and a half ago, and I was there also earlier this year and at the RE/MAX convention, and I actually stayed at the Mandalay. So she wanted to notify me about what had occurred. And
gives me chills. You were at Mandalay.
Yes. Ironic enough, on the 32nd floor, actually. So I know the view, I know the hotel. I spent a lot of time there, and I guess our hearts truly go out to everyone there, because Orlando understands what it's like
Agreed.
To have your community attacked. And
I woke up with that.
Yeah.
As soon as I read it, I had that pit in my stomach that I had when all this stuff started happening with Pulse, and it was 2 in the morning, and nobody really knew what was going on, and we were the Facebook and the news, it was just insane. And so you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm reliving.
It really did. It felt like a deja vu almost,
Yeah.
and a horrible deja vu, because we don't want to know that anybody has to go through what our community went through.
Agreed.
So our hearts and prayers go out to everybody in Las Vegas, the victims, and even our people in our community that have to unfortunately relive their experience and the terror that they felt, and I think we all felt that. So.
And I think that's a great point. I think they're not calling it PTSD anymore. They're calling it PTSS or PTSD. I think that when you have been through that, the Pulse victims, the first responders, when you wake up to that news, immediately, if we get the flutter, can you imagine the feeling that they get? Seeing that on the news and knowing they've been through it, they've had to deal with it, and the aftermath of what that brings.
Yep, and I've actually been in communication with a wonderful real estate agent. Her name is Rooney from Las Vegas. I just had the great pleasure of meeting with her and spending time with her and actually mentoring her a little bit from here in Orlando. I was able to communicate with her all morning long. She's actually donating blood right now.
That's amazing.
And she is completely horrified. And she says, realtors, and I'm so proud of our real estate agents, realtors are out there in full force trying to help their community out. So I'm really
They
proud
are.
of that.
And I think that as the day progresses, I mean, the latest toll was 58 killed. I mean, it's just, there are no words for it. And I think what happened, like when I came into the club this morning, it was palpable. You could feel that everybody had a heavy heart. And so to figure out how to deal with that, to figure out what to do with that, and with everything else going on in the world, Puerto Rico, Mexico, I mean, there are so many things going on, and I think people are feeling very overwhelmed and aren't sure what to do. I don't have the answers. I'm just saying I want you to know that we're all feeling it, And sometimes that's what we need to hear. We need to hear that other people are feeling the same thing.
So Ted and I had a little discussion this morning if we should move forward and proceed with this.
We did.
And I think we both agreed that evil cannot win.
Agreed.
And that we have to continue going and keep our heads held high and have hope in our hearts and believe that there are really good people out there. And you know, we just need to be strong. We need to be strong for Vegas. We need to be strong for Orlando and for our communities.
Agreed. So it was actually fortuitous that Rose was on the show today because I knew she was in Vegas, and I know she has a fantastic heart. And it would have been a different story if I had had somebody on that maybe I was just quote unquote interviewing. And so I'm very thankful you're here. And I appreciate you going ahead and pushing through and coming.
So I feel blessed to be here because Ted is a very good friend of mine. We've been friends and networking and colleagues for many, many years now. And so I met him through Women's Council of Realtors.
She did.
And here we are at the Citrus Club, and he's a mortgage broker.
See, she's good.
She
talks about what I do.
He's always involved with the insurance industry, so it's a beautiful thing, though. I said, Ted, I want to mention you're a mortgage broker because I know I have a big realtor Facebook following, and he's just such a great person and an inspiration to all of us, and really has become a big part of our community, not just the real estate community, but our community, because Ted knows everyone. And if you know Ted, then you're in good hands because he can connect you with so many amazing and wonderful people.
That's such a sweet thing to say. I'm going to cry off camera.
100%.
I'll need more makeup if I cry off camera. We don't have a makeup artist. I'm kidding. All right, so let's get to, thank you for that, by the way. Love you to pieces. Let's get to you. So you're a California girl. California native.
I am.
Right? And you were, and probably still are, you should be, a model and actress. So talk a little bit about that, because that's a fascinating part of your life that you don't share that much. So I'd love to hear more.
It was many moons ago, but I started my life in theater when I was 12. And
what did you do? What was your first role?
So I would actually do individual performances and compete at like the Shakespeare Festival of Los Angeles County, and I would place top 5.
What'd you do, like a soliloquy from blah, blah, blah?
It would be 5-minute monologues.
Nice.
And I would be about 5 different characters. So it was a lot of fun. I also, probably one of my best experiences as a child was 8th grade. We performed a theatrical musical show called Love Through the Sounds of Rock and Roll. And in LA County, it's a really large county, and we got first place. And I remember I got to perform on Hollywood Boulevard. So
did you act and sing?
Mm-hmm. Acted and sang, and I was.
See, I haven't heard you sing. You were the star of the show. So
I don't sing anymore.
Why don't you sing? You always sing. We always sing. I'm a singer.
I sing in the shower.
Me too. Pretty much.
So yeah, from there I got an agent, and I had the privilege of doing a lot of different things, actually. Voiceovers, Spanish television.
Were you on Univision?
I was on Univision, lots of
I sort of said
stations.
That good, right? It was sort of the...
Univision. Univision. So,
that's the Italian version.
I am fluent in Spanish. Hablo español perfectamente bien. And I also got to work with movies, big movies actually, featured extra work, behind the scenes.
What was your biggest movie? What's your favorite movie or biggest movie?
The favorite movie that I got to work in was The Birdcage.
Nice.
Got to meet Robin Williams. Yep.
And Nathan Lane. That's a great movie.
It was a great movie, and little did I know that one day I'd be living in Florida, so maybe that's where it all started.
What brought you here?
Love.
Love brought you here.
Yes.
I love it.
So,
we love you too, Betty. Betty just commented.
I relocated here 21 years ago, and I do consider Central Florida, my second home, and I absolutely love this community. When I relocated, I had to figure out how to reinvent myself. This wasn't Hollywood anymore, so somehow, I remember I was influenced by my brother, actually. So I have an older brother in Chicago who's a real estate agent. I had a daughter, a little girl, and he said, you should go into real estate because you can raise her, you can take her to showings, you can work out of your home, you can be there for her, and you can still have the career that you want to have, and the sky's the limit where you go with it.
The beautiful Summer. Hi, Summer. I don't know
Hi,
if you're watching.
Summer.
Orlando's watching, by the way. Hey, Orlando.
Hi. So, that's how I got into real estate, actually, 17 years ago.
And because he's a realtor, I have the hardest time with that. It's not realtor, it's realtor.
Realtor.
You said, all right, I'm going to give it a whirl. And that's actually great advice, because I think that what we do is such a blessing on the loan side, or insurance, which is what I was before, or real estate. It gives you that flexibility to be where you need to be when you need to be there.
I have always felt extremely blessed that somehow I realized that this would be a great career for me, and to be able to raise my daughter and be there for her every second of the day. If she was sick, I could pick her up. After school, I could pick her up. And I think the fact that I didn't have a lot of family here and friends that could help out, I had to kind of be in control. So I had to find a career that would allow me to be a mom and be there for her, but at the same time fulfill my dreams and my needs. And real estate has afforded me that. So I feel extremely blessed. And for any mom out there that's considered it, give it a whirl, because it can really be an amazing life, and I feel so blessed about that.
Because you had no sales experience before, actor, actress, model, but that doesn't always equate to good at sales.
I beg to differ, actually.
Oh, good. See,
so,
good.
Yeah,
so she thinks all actresses should be.
So I was an
Hey, Rigo, we love you.
Hi, Rigo. So congratulations, Rigo.
Yeah, congratulations, Rigo.
So actually, I was an entrepreneur. So
right.
I had to sell myself. I had to sell my resume. I had to go to auditions.
Great point.
Yeah, and you know what? I got more no's than yeses, because that's how it is in that field.
Right.
So real estate, at the end of the day, it was kind of a beautiful thing, because you get you're going to get a lot of no's. It's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
You're going to get a lot of no's. But what do? You go ahead and you turn around and you knock on the next door, and you just keep going. You don't say, oh, well, these people turned me down, I'm going to take it personally, never going to be able to sell a house again. That's
woe is me. There's no woe is me. You can't.
You basically say, you know what? I don't take it personal. Maybe I'm not the right person for them.
Right.
That's okay. Somebody else is going to appreciate me or value me, or I'm going to be the right person for them. And that's how the acting industry was. So real estate, to me, listing appointments, buyer appointments, when you're meeting them for the first time, it's really like an audition.
And you were used to the rejection.
I really
so what
was.
happens in our industry a lot is people, like you said, they personalize the rejection. It's not always about you, it's just about them and their scenario. Not everything works out, so you got to move on to the next person.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about how many leads you get, you'll get 10 or 20 leads, and how many of those leads actually work out for you? And so, I have realtors sometimes that come to me, and I do mentoring. I mentor agents all the time, new agents, and so they get so down on themselves when, the deal didn't work out or they didn't hire them, and I just tell them, you know what, it's okay. You just have to dust yourself off. Think about what occurred. How can you improve? What can you do differently next time? And you move forward.
Correct.
With more confidence, because now you have that experience behind you, period.
And what we so Rose and I had a couple of conversations this weekend, or Friday through Sunday, and I think that people believe that automatically you're at star status.
Yeah.
Like they think that you've already gotten there, and you've gotten there quickly, and why aren't they there as fast? But what we talked about is you still hustle, you still put in the hours, put in the time, and I think that's so important for that younger, even real estate or anybody in business needs to hear. It's not going to come automatically, immediately, and you cannot hold yourself accountable like that. You still have to put in the hours, put in the work, and not be so hard on yourself because you're 24 and you're not where Rose is. I mean, I'm 30 and I'm barely where Rose is.
30?
30.
Really?
We're going
really?
with that. Here we go.
It's his birthday on Wednesday.
Oh,
I guess
God.
he'll be 31.
Watch out. 31. 31 it is.
So, and with that being said, happy almost your birthday.
That's
Ted.
right. I'll be
It's
31.
Tedtober month.
Tedtober.
Apparently.
I love you for saying it, because that way Kat Brower can't give me a hard time. Stacey Bogert can't give me a hard time. Eileen Winfrey can't give me a hard time. Tedtober, hashtag. We're trying to bring some levity and fun to this today, because it's been crazy.
So, you spoke about business and, always having to work hard, and that it's not always, you're not always going to be on the top of the world. You're not always going to be high. And it doesn't matter what business you're in. I tell people all the time, just because you have felt success, or success, or you had the biggest deal ever, seasons change.
Agreed.
Markets change.
Important.
There are so many factors that take place. And in the past 17 years, my career has been a little bit like this.
So let's talk a little bit about, because I want to make sure I get this in. So everybody has obstacles to deal with, right? And so I think it's important for people to know. People always ask me, oh my God, you're always happy. You never have any problems. And that's not true. We all have problems. We all have issues. And I wish I could convince more people of the fact that we're all in this. We get it. We're not perfect. We have things that we're dealing with. And Rose had to deal with something with her daughter, which she said was okay to bring up. And I want to talk about that, because it puts you in a place where you hadn't been before, and you had to overcome that. So whatever you want to share, please do, because we love summer, and summer's fantastic and happy and in a good place.
Yes, summer has recovered well.
Yes, and so let's talk about that, because I think people, it may not be the summer situation, but it's their situation. Correct. So talk what you want to.
So, I was an empty nester, and you feel like, you've raised your kid, and now they're off to college, and life was pretty good. Early last year, I made an incredible sale. It was one of the top 25 sales in Orange County. Took a little staycation for a couple of months, actually, and then got myself back to work. Unfortunately, we had a personal incident. My daughter was in a vehicle accident, and it was a very serious one. And, in an instant, you can be up here, and in an instant, everything can change. Just like in Las Vegas today, everything can change. And I found myself in intensive care unit in Jacksonville, praying and hoping that my daughter would survive. So what happens? Your focus, obviously my focus was completely on my daughter. Nothing matters in the world. Nothing has ever been worse in my life. It was hands down the hardest thing I've ever been through in my entire life. She's my heart. She's my everything. This career that I've had, the life that I live, she's been the blessing and the reason and the motivation and the inspiration. And so suddenly to feel like you've gotten this far, and then suddenly, boom, here you are trying to survive. So here's the beautiful thing. I still had to pay bills. I still had to keep living. I actually had extra bills because of what happened. And I was telling Ted the other day that real estate is all about relationships. And you know what? If it wasn't for the relationships that I've built last year, let's say 16 years prior, I would not have been able to get through that. And my daughter as well, she's recovered beautifully.
I'm amazing.
So thankful to God for that. But most importantly, the people around me, the people I work with, the Women's Council of Realtors, my colleagues at the Women's Council of Realtors were some of the strongest people. Like they held me. They built me back up. They helped me build myself and build my daughter back up. And also the people that I get to work with and I surround myself with at the Orlando Regional Realtor Association. The stories that people shared with me made me feel like I wasn't the only one out there going through something like that. unfortunately, I heard stories of other people that have survived horrific vehicle accidents and have built themselves up. So I guess I got to say that real estate, to me, what I do, my career, being, having balance in life, right?
Balance, baby.
Yeah, is, what you put into it, putting into those relationships out there, having integrity, trying to be there for others when they need you. All of those things matter. Every single one of them. And I like to go to the gym. That helps me too. So
I hope the gym's a bar. Is the gym a bar?
and having happy hour.
Happy hour, there you go.
So between happy hour, good friends, hard work, believe,
But thank you for
hope.
sharing that, because honestly, I think what happens is people go through things and they go through them alone because they don't have the support system like you have or I have. And I think that it's so hard. So when people, like, I get messages all the time, personal messages here. Oh my God, I'm so glad so-and-so shared that. I thought I was the only one. And that's why it's so critical, if you're comfortable sharing, which thank you for doing that. It's amazing. Because it was a tough time.
I didn't stop crying for 6 months.
Life-changing.
Yes. And at the same time, I was back home from being in ICU, trying to rebuild. My daughter was, broken, and the Pulse shooting happened.
Right.
And it literally happened days after I got back home from Jacksonville. And probably what I remember the most about that morning was having to tell my daughter, don't turn on the TV.
Right.
I need to talk to you, because our community had been attacked. And that was really hard. So, and I'm bringing that up because of the Vegas this morning.
Of course.
And it's just, sometimes things happen, just like we just had the hurricane and then Puerto Rico and then now this. But what do we have to do here? We still have to keep going. We still have to be strong for other countries, for our own country, for our friends. We have to keep going. And
well, it's life. It sounds like it's easy to just curl up in a ball and ignore it. But in reality, if you've got that passion and that empathy, you can't. You have to figure out something to do that's going to bring some kind of joy or some kind of support to whatever's going on. And so when you went through that with Summer, I remember the first thing I thought is, okay, well, how do you even help someone in that situation? But I think that being there, and that's what I want to stress, reach out to people, check in on people. If somebody tells you,
just a text.
If they say they love you, say I love you back. Hug people, give them that support back, and that is so critical to people. You don't understand how important just that reach out is. It's important.
Just to not feel like you're alone is so important. And I think one of the things that really helped me be strong was that I knew I had to be strong for my daughter. And I recall, which is interesting because I received the 2016 Rising Star Award at the Orlando Regional Realtor Association.
Much deserved.
And I was also Mentor of the Year at RE/MAX Town Center for 2016. And when I received these honors that were completely unexpected, I remember reflecting and saying, how can the hardest, worst year of my life, because that's what it feels like to me, how is it possible that I would receive these honors? What did I do? I had to kind of analyze, because at the time I was in survival mode.
That's awesome.
So what I recall doing, what I realized I did, is instead of me having a pity party and feeling sorry for myself, I decided I would go ahead and help others around me, so I wouldn't sit there and just focus on myself.
Sure.
So I was focused on my daughter, and then I wanted to give back to the people that were there for me, which was ORRA, and then I wanted to give back to the Women's Council of Realtors and to my office. And amazingly enough, that is what encouraged me. That is what kept me going, and I'm actually very proud of this year. I always try to stay relevant to my community and my market. A lot of people want to know, well, how do you stay in it 17 years and you're still out there and you're still selling? And how do you make great things happen? Well, the way you make great things happen is you basically roll your sleeves up, you believe, you have hope,
It's true.
you keep joy in your heart. I always say never let anybody take your joy away from you. You have to be in control of that. And that's what keeps you going forward.
It does.
That's what makes you, that's what probably can put you above the rest. So staying relevant every year for me has been really important. The honors I received were very uplifting and allowed me to, keep pushing hard this year.
Don't you think that the mentor of the year, for example, you're feeding other people, which first of all, you're planting seeds, but you're also feeding you by feeding other people.
Yes.
And I think that people underestimate the value of service to others and how important that is to growing you or helping you or healing you. And I think that's what you focused on, and how amazing for you to be able to have the wherewithal to do that, and look what it blossomed into for
Yes, it's really been a blessing when you serve and you help and you give back without expecting anything in return.
That's the key right there.
It always comes back to you.
Say it again, because that is the key.
Always give, serve, volunteer, be there for others without ever expecting anything in return.
Anything, no expectation, you just
None.
give.
And it's good.
It's so good, and I think that people miss out on that. They give, and they're waiting for their gift back. And sometimes it never comes. You shouldn't, my opinion, you should not give thinking that. And I think if you give with joy and give and just give, and it
Genuine.
doesn't matter, then nothing else is going to hit you. But if you give and you think, oh my God, so I gave to Rose, and she hasn't given me back this week, you are going to be miserable all the time.
Yeah.
Just give, give, give. That's my thought.
The gift of giving.
I
There's
agree.
a gift when you give.
It's
So I want to say thank you to everyone who voted
yay!
this past week.
Rose is one of our newest ORRA Board of Directors.
Yes, I'm a
right?
director.
ORRA
Yes.
is the Orlando Regional Realtors Association. So we had Rose, Rigo, Lisa, and Tansy.
Yes.
And Rose, we're so happy to have everyone, but we're happy to have Rose on there. She's an amazing participant and proponent of all things good that are ORRA. And
Yeah, and I guess I just want to say, thank you for everyone that actually took the time to get involved. I know how hard it is. We all stay really busy. I would like to encourage, if you're an ORRA member, realtor, or affiliate, I'd like to encourage you to get involved, join a committee. It's empowering. You're keeping your thumb on the pulse of everything that's going on. And it's our membership, and we should be involved in our membership, even if it's just to vote once a year for
Agreed.
who your leaders are going to be. It's crucial because you're a member and you want to have good leaders so that they make good decisions in your best interest to protect you and bring great things to you. So if you're a realtor out there with ORRA and you have concerns, questions, you want to know how to get involved, just reach out to me. And it's really that simple. I'll give you an invitation, and honestly, it's really another blessing. It's one of those things that the gift of giving really comes back to you 20 folds over.
so, I mean, if you are even remotely thinking about being involved in anything real estate, you should reach out to Rose. She's got a voice now, which is amazing, right? And she has a voice. She's always had a voice, but she has a voice on the board now. And so I would encourage you to reach out to Rose. She's got honestly, she's open book. There is you would never feel like what you're reaching out about is not worthy. You should definitely talk to her. We are at past 30 minutes.
One last thing I want to say.
Goes so fast, right?
Congratulations to Charlie Orden, my
Yay, Charlie.
office, my broker. He is celebrating, as of September, 15 years.
It's amazing.
With a RE/MAX real estate firm here in Orlando. We're in downtown. We're across from Lake Eola. Charlie, you're an amazing broker. I know you're listening to this, so I just want to tell you I'm so proud of your accomplishments, and I'm really proud to be one of your agents working with you on your team for the past 13 years. Again, make good decisions, have integrity, follow your heart, go with your gut, and good things do happen. And when you find yourself in hardships, whether it be a bad market or a jerk buyer or seller that didn't appreciate you, or something happened in your family, or the things that we're listening to today, or a hurricane, just remember, I think we all just have to remember to keep going and keep loving our hearts and be there for others. And that's why I'm here today. So hopefully this brings value to someone and inspires them and helps them in whatever they're going through. So God bless you all.
Love one another, people. I swear to God, that's literally the basis of everything. You've got to love one another and figure it out. And we love you. And Rose, thank you so much for being on.
And I think Ignacio may
have
Ignacio,
Iggy, come here, Iggy.
Yes, so this is my 4-year-old
come here,
nephew
bud.
who's been such a
He is the
trooper.
cutest dude.
He's been so quiet behind us, and
Look
he's
at
the
him.
newest real estate.
Look at him. Oh, we can't even hear. We can't even see
the
him.
real estate toddler assistant for Rose Kemp Remax. Here he is. He's
look, we're gonna see.
hunting for
Look,
homes.
there you are. There you are, bud.
Say hi to the camera.
He has been perfect
That's the camera
all day. So we love you guys. God bless Vegas. We are praying for you.
We are.
And Rose, you were an amazing guest, as I knew you would be.
Thank you, Ted.
Love you so much, and love you all for tuning in. I didn't get to address everybody that came on, but we will address you later. Thank you so much.
Thank
what
you,
a
everyone.
blessing. What a blessing. Happy Monday, and God bless.
Hit close.
Oh, yeah. Yay. This is the $4.99 budget we talked about.